7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Happy Friday, all my good people. It's not Friday, it's Monday. It's been that kind of day, guys. Happy Monday and welcome. Where am I? I'm on WWT Live. It's part of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. I guess the question is, who am I after all of these crazy ways to intro? They call me the professor around these parts. Gerard Bonner. It has been a very busy day of broadcasting for me, but no worries. I come bearing gifts. What gifts do I bear? It's the gift of pro wrestling, the gift of conversation, and the gift of my crew. Listen, by the time we finish this show today, we're going to talk about some things, well, that'll make you scratch your head like I scratched mine today, and as I think millions of viewers scratched theirs. We're going to get into that. We're going to preview Raw on Netflix week 2. And a whole lot more. But the good thing is I don't have to do this by myself. As the songwriter once said, it ain't no fun unless your homie gets some.
It's the Queen Bee of WWT, Wrestling with Honey with
Honey Pop Predictions.
Honey's in the building. How are you, Queen Bee?
I am doing fantabulous. Happy Monday.
Yes.
Just another manic Monday.
I have to tell you, that Friday came out so easy, and I was like, wait.
It was like nothing.
What?
Yeah. It was so great. It was organic, but you know what? That's fine. You were just practicing for later on.
We're practicing for Friday. And heads up for you guys who are joining us. We'll obviously talk about this toward the end. This Friday is going to be a very special edition of WWT Live. Truly can't miss TV. I'll tell you why a little bit later in the show. And I'll tell you that this guy will certainly be a part of the conversation. He is our councilman.
It's Councilman Will Pharaoh of Strattonville with his Parisiac constituents.
Hey.
The councilman's in the building. How are you, sir?
I was good till you said Friday, and then it's Monday, so I still got 2 more days. I got to go work out, and I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, it's Friday. Oh, I'm off this week. It is Tuesday tomorrow. Wow.
Yeah.
Let you know how fast we trying to get to Friday.
It's something. It's really, really something. How you doing, man?
Man, just doing as best as I can right now, especially with everything going on out here, man. Just trying to keep the spirits up, but I know being here on WWT is going to just perk it right up, man. So I'm so glad to be here.
Absolutely. Yay. And we offer our certainly thoughts and prayers to everybody on the West Coast. It's been just kind of crazy in the United States. There's been parts of the country dealing with snow and ice, and then, of course, the fire and the smoke and the difficult breathing conditions. So certainly we are thinking about everybody on the West Coast, and certainly it kind of puts to light and into perspective what we do. We're getting to really entertain today and talk about things that I hope will lighten people's spirits today. So that's my hope. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Lewis, good to see you. Of course, the great Pat Chu, always a pleasure. Good morning to you, Dylan. Always a wee bit ahead of us. We appreciate that. Eric, good to see you as well. And yes, indeed, stay strong, California. Also, shout out to you, Special Little Nobodies. I hope you are well. I think you're West Coast, sir. So I hope you're well. Just let me know. And thank you for the kind words. Killed it on Ashe's first show. We've got the second episode coming this Thursday for Ashe Wrestling TV. Trust me, guys. And if you have not watched episode 1, please, ma'am, please, sir, do yourself a favor. After this show, head over to youtube.com/Ashe Wrestling. Check out episode 1 of Ashe Wrestling TV. Trust me, it is special. It is here's how you know it's special. If you've ever been involved in any sort of TV taping of any kind, you know, you record it one way, and you're not always sure how it's going to be received, how it's going to air. It was like I wasn't even there. Like, it was unbelievable the way this product came out. So go check it out. I will unquestionably say it is unlike any other kind of pro wrestling television show you've ever seen. Ashe Wrestling, check out episode 1 of Ashe Wrestling TV, and episode 2 hits this Thursday. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But the big ticket news item, and this is ironic, we've often talked about the need for AEW to make a mainstream impact. WWE has always done a great job of creating the kinds of stars that become megastars, household names, people that you know whether you know them for wrestling or not. AEW has had a few opportunities to do that. Of course, we think about Swerve, who was the AEW World Champion, also a great rapper, had great opportunities, of course, on Hot 97 and other places. And, of course, on the women's side, it would be Mercedes Mone, the former Sasha Banks, who many knew, of course, from WWE. Her star has continued to rise. Of course, she's been starring on The Mandalorian. She's been putting in work in modeling spaces, of course, with New Japan, now AEW. She is the TBS champion. She is the strong openweight champion. And she is the undisputed Rev Pro women's champion. So many things that Mercedes Mone has done. So it was very exciting when we all got the news to tune in today live on the Sherri Show, which is a nationally syndicated show here in the United States, one of the best talk shows in the country. And Mercedes Mone had the opportunity to be on. Now, ironically, you'll remember it was 2023 when the former Trinity, now known as Naomi, had her opportunity on as the TNA Women's Champion, the Knockout Champion. So Mercedes goes on. She's the TBS champion. Oh, and well, the mayor is in the building. I love this. The mayor says, your favorite horsewoman could never. We'll see if he holds on to that statement after watching a clip from Mercedes Mone on the Sherri Shepherd Show. We were going to transcript it for you, but why do that when you can watch it yourself? Check it out.
Be a hoe. I did not know that Snoop Dogg is your first cousin. Snoop is your first. Did Snoop give you any advice that helped you along the way?
So many times I've called him up and he's told me before, and this is advice for everybody. Sometimes in life you got to be a hoe.
That's what, okay.
Exactly. When he said that to me, I'm like,
you know, and Mercedes does church events too. She speaks at church events as well.
And
so what did he mean by that?
Just sometimes in life you got to be a hoe. You got to, just put your head down, do your work, just do it as good as you can until you become a pimp. Okay, you got to work so hard until you become a pimp. And a pimp means to be the CEO of your life. Okay. So I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Because right now, back in the day, I felt like a hoe. Okay. But now in AEW, I'm the pimp. I'm the CEO of my life.
I love it. Good. I'm going to go home and dissect that whole thing.
And trust me, you're not no hoe. She's a pimp, right?
Yeah, but
Sherri's a pimp for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, your TBS Women's Champion, the representative of AEW in the mainstream marketplace. First big mainstream interview of 2025. And she has told the people, sometimes you got to be a hoe. Can't believe I actually said that. And then she went on to say, from there, you can graduate from being there to being a pimp. Can't believe I said that also. But then defines a PIMP as the CEO of your life. Now, the mayor went so far. Listen, Dylan, I already know. I know. The mayor says this is bars. So let me ask this question. I want to ask the question. What do you guys make of the comments from Mercedes Mone? did you gather what it was that she was attempting to say? Boy, there are lots of places to start. I want to start with you on this one, honey. As a woman, hearing the TBS women's champion say sometimes you have to be what she said. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first initial thought I had after seeing the mayor's comment, my favorite horsewoman will never refer to herself as a hoe or a pimp. She's a CEO, period. But that's neither here nor there. That's another debate. I don't, I should have kept my mouth shut yesterday. And I knew I was right for taking back my praise for Mercedes last week. Because the minute I praise her, that's when she go ahead and just slips up and says something stupid once again. I'm not a fan of this comparison. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Mercedes, maybe it's not only TK who's suffering from bad analogies. Maybe it is transferred down now into mainstream level. And Mercedes Mone is all right. I understand what she's saying, but I don't understand it as when you're talking about being a CEO. Because when you're a pimp or a hoe, you're not a CEO. It's CEO, not CEO. Okay, just saying. I will say that. I don't know. I'm not sure where she gets off saying this, or I mean, I guess I don't even know how to explain myself and how I feel about it, because I saw the clip early and I was just like, this doesn't look or sound like it should be coming from a women's champion with 4 belts on an international globe, like on an international scale. It just sounds like Love and Hip Hop. It sounds like I'm watching Love and Hip Hop all over again. And I was just not a fan of that. I do love the Sherri show. I love the Sherri show by all means. I love Sherri, period. Her movies have been phenomenal. She's funny as hell. But I don't know if Mercedes, that was the right moment or right thing to say. I mean, but I can't control what she spews out of her mouth, but this is what happens when I give her praise. So now I take it back. Mercedes, you are not a goat sounding like that, honey. I'm sorry. Not happening. Said, fight me.
Okay. Commissioner, what do you make of this? Like, perhaps you have the interpretation for this that makes it all make sense, because in her mind it clearly made sense.
So to be fair,
this is what I want.
She didn't say this. This is the advice she was given. So she didn't say this. Snoop Dogg is saying this. She just happens to agree with it. So let's just make that very clear. And then when you think about where Snoop has come from, where he's grew up from, it's relevant in what he's saying. Now, if I'm Mercedes, let's say PR person, that may not have been the first analogy I'd have told you to use while you're there. Maybe let's clean this up a little bit instead of being just so extremely blunt. Because of what she's saying, is it not true? And the only reason why I say that is because a woman also told me that same thing. And it's also been a joke by a comedian that's wrote. He was like, technically, if you work at a 9 to 5, you're all that word. You go somewhere you don't want to go. You're doing something you don't want to do. You got to listen to somebody you don't really want to listen to. And what are you doing it all for? Now, mind you, a woman told me this. And now a pimp also has stated to me, yes, you are technically a CEO, because not in the full broad spectrum of it, but the fact of you do manage that person's life because of what they show you. They don't show you everything. So they don't show you that this pimp is also controlling your finances, also paying your bills, also make sure your car is situated for you to sustain it. The life you're living, and then what you're doing for work. So now again, in that particular life, all of that would make sense.
Right.
I don't think, though, as a champion that has a child's audience as well watching her, not the greatest analogy to use. It's like if I sent little Bootsy to a middle school and told him, go talk to the kids for a little bit. What am I expecting to happen if I send him there?
Side note, if this is who I think it is, I want to shout out my friend Maya World, who is in the building, an amazing wrestler who has been working in a lot of great places, all Caribbean, reality of wrestling. She's been killing it on AEW, Ring of Honor. Shout out to Maya. Thank you for hanging out with us today. So let me ask this question, because I'm wondering, is there a way to have made the point about going from working to owning without using such terms as the terms that were used? I mean, yes. I feel like we see shows like Undercover Boss, and we see shows like Shark Tank, and we see other shows that demonstrate the concept of working for someone and eventually moving into a space of ownership. But to your other point there, Commissioner, or excuse me, I keep wanting to call you Commissioner all of a sudden. I don't know why. I'm changing your title. Sorry, Councilman. So yes, Snoop said it, but she also said, I agree that I felt like said thing.
But I also have to say,
and then went on to say, but now I'm the PIMP at AEW.
But not, and no, so this is the thing that bothers me when she was like, back in the days, I felt like a hoe, and now that I'm in AEW, I'm a pimp. So what are you saying about WWE and all your friends that you left over there, ma'am? What are you saying about them and all the hard work that they've put into in competing against the company that's supposedly on your shoulders? Just saying.
Never mind.
Here's where I think this entire thing has gone left. Firstly, you have the opportunity to carry a company on your back into a mainstream platform. And I don't recall any superstar from AEW ever being on this particular platform before. So you have the opportunity to represent young women, represent the women's movement, represent AEW, represent Black women, and of all of the things and here's the thing, Snoop has actually said some rather wise things over time. I don't know why that was the quote she grabbed, and I don't know why that was the opportunity. I don't know what we do with this.
I'm not sure either.
I don't
know what we do with this.
I can't defend it. I can't defend it.
Well, honestly though, I don't think there's really nothing to defend. I think to the point of like, yo, this is a place of free speech. There's a lot of places also to defend on the fact of, hey, you've seen stuff displayed way more than of what she's saying. Do we feel like she could have said it better? Yes. But there's a lot of stuff we've seen where we thought we would have never seen nor heard. I would have never imagined to see Snoop Dogg smoking an entire blunt on the Super Bowl. I would have never expected Travis Scott to be smoking weed on Monday Night Raw next to kids. So it's a different world. It's getting a little bit uncomfortable. But let me ask you this question, though, Professor. Can you say that, and I can't speak for everybody, so I can only speak for myself, but that type of conversation is something I would have heard growing up and where I was around. And that analogy would have made 100% sense to my life. I was even told that at one time because I felt like that working at Apple. I felt like a hoe. I felt like I was in a place I didn't want to be. I had to put on a smile for people. I had to make people feel good. If you go down that definition, I felt like that. And when I left, and now I'm blessed to say I stand on my own 2 feet. I work for myself. I have my own business. So I'm saying the analogy is there, but was it the right place to use it? Was it the right place to throw that out? Especially with, like you said, Professor, everything that you do have representing for you, it's definitely a conversation that should have been had before just going out there to say it.
Yeah, I will say this. I think that's why you have to always read the room.
Mm-hmm.
You have to always know your audience, and certain, and boy, we're going other places here, but I think this is important. That is why a thing like code switching ends up existing. It is ultimately saying, hey, I have to figure out how to operate in this environment. They don't understand when I present this way. So let me present another way that they will understand. With that being said, the Sherri Shepherd show does not come on at 11 p.m. It is a daytime talk show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a daytime talk show with kind of a family kind of situation to it.
Yep.
So understanding that it's live, understanding the audience, nothing about that analogy says family. Nothing about that analogy says uplifting. Nothing about that analogy says empowering. None of that, and I think my concern now is it feels as though almost any time there is an interview involving Mercedes Mone, there does not ever seem to be anything positive that we're able to extract from it. And the thing is, these are often her words. So it's not, somebody grabbed a clip and spliced it together. I mean, we're seeing this in context here, to the point where with this interview, Sherri was shook.
Yeah.
Sherri didn't know how to respond.
Like to say that on a daytime talk show, like she wasn't expecting that to come out.
They weren't expecting that. And so I think it is a bad look. And here's why I say that, because where you have heard that conversation, I've never heard that conversation. Mm-hmm. I know nothing about that. The only things I know about it is what's been presented on TV screens. I don't have any firsthand knowledge of it. I've never seen it in action before, so I don't know. And I'm sure somebody somewhere will try to, talk about the potential positive spin of it. But, it is not people who go into that line of work. They don't wake up saying that's what I want to do.
Of course,
you don't have 6-year-old little girls saying that.
Right.
So I just think, again, when you have here's what's even scarier to me as I think about this. What's scarier to me is it was only 3 years ago. It was only 3 years ago, maybe 4, where we were celebrating same said woman alongside Bianca Belair as the first African-American women to main event WrestleMania.
Can I also pose this question, though?
Sure.
Why?
There are lots of whys. Give me which why.
but why in the sense of, why is that her responsibility? And I'll just give
why is what her responsibility?
Having to carry as this certain particular person of, I have to look like this because these people are watching. I have to move about this. And I'll just give an example and again, I'm not siding with her or saying this is right. I'm just asking, like, Lil Wayne made a statement was, I didn't sign up to be anybody's role model. I came here to make music. I didn't sign up to be a representation of that. And so
she did.
That's what I'm asking.
That's the difference between her and Lil Wayne. She signed up for this. And as a woman, you have other little girls. As a woman, you have other little girls watching and represent. God forbid, say if there's a sick baby girl at home that didn't go to school, and she's sitting home with her mom and watching the Sherri show, and that came on, and that segment comes on, and she's like, "Mom, what's that? I thought I wanted to be like Sasha Banks." The mom's not gonna allow her to watch Mercedes Mone like that, or keep her away from that because of that kind of talk. Like, somebody said in the comments here, know your audience and know your mission. I will sit here and say this on air. And this is not to upset my husband. But before you meet your significant other and, past lives and other lives you've had, there's been many a conversation that sounds like that, maybe with me and my girlfriends where I grew up as well. But I knew where to have those conversations and when to have those conversations and who to have those conversations with. And they were people that I were more than comfortable with. My diehard girlfriends. You know what I mean? This is someone on a talk show, a morning family-oriented talk show where the world is going to watch and the world is going to see and hang on to your every move. You signed up for this. Technically, you're not even the CEO of AEW anyway. You're just the champion in charge and the woman running it, and you got your own creative control. Understood. I get what you're trying to say, but it wasn't the best thing to say. It really, really wasn't. I could be guilty of having the same conversation with my girlfriends just as much as any, but I would never say that on a talk show when I know there's millions watching, including young girls that I've wanted to inspire, because we know when you were Sasha Banks, this was all you were talking about, to inspire the little girls and inspire women.
She's not that no more. But that's the thing. She's not that no more.
She's still that. I
get what you're saying, but this is a different character we're seeing. And and then too, I will even just from you saying that, which makes it even more of why you're trying to do it a little too much to Professor's point, because you're trying to get away from that.
And it's not working. It's not working.
And it's not. But that's the thing about being in here. Just like to the mayor's point, it is an alternative. And that's not what she's promoting here at AEW. She's not promoting that she's here for the kids. She's not promoting that she's doing this to be somebody to look up to and idolize. Well, she's to be a character again, which I don't think is the best thing. But it's something to take into consideration.
I will say this. I feel like in a space like this, number one, if being a role model is not what you want, if you don't want to be an example that people look up to, I believe you can be like Marshawn Lynch and just say, hey, I'm only here because I don't want to get fired. Okay. Right? Doing the interviews at the Breakfast Club, Sherri, Shepherd, that is not a requirement for you as a wrestler.
No.
It's not a requirement for you as a champion. Mm-mm. She's the first AEW champion, male or female, to appear on that show. They've only had a handful of AEW wrestlers doing these kinds of mainstream interviews. Mariah May's not out there. Toni Storm wasn't out there. The TNT champ hasn't been out there. None of these other champions have been out there. So I think, what we really have to consider is when you decide to go onto a mainstream marketplace, watch this. Even if you're not trying to be a role model for the kids, you have the TBS championship on your shoulder.
Hello.
So you are by proxy representing the company that sent you. Mm-hmm. So this is a perfect opportunity. I know we're going to segue to this right now. The boss lady's here.
I'm so glad.
TK,
yes.
Welcome aboard. I'm going to say this in her presence.
Boss lady.
I'm going to say this in her presence. I want to be clear. And for as many times as she likes to argue with me, I'm going to guarantee you she's going to agree with me. Watch this.
Times.
Here it is. If I go to an episode of Dynamite, an episode of Raw, an episode of SmackDown, an episode of Collision or NXT, and I represent women's wrestling talk, there's a certain way I'm supposed to behave. There are certain things I'm supposed to do because I represent the brand. I'm not going in my own name. If I go in my own name, I can cut up and it'll be all right. But if I go specifically representing women's wrestling talk, I'm not just representing me. So I better be on my best behavior because I'm not just costing me. I'm costing this brand. I'm costing this company. And so the problem for me is if on AEW television, they don't talk about pimps and prostitution and that type of stuff, how dare you think you can go on a daily talk show and talk about that? You mean all of the advice that this man has given you all the years you've known him, that's the one you pick? And then you go on and you say, well, I felt like this myself, but I'm not anymore. Now I'm the PIMP of AEW. What are we doing? Now, with that said, because I know what's about to happen. TK is gonna come on here and try to make this make sense. TK, go ahead. It's your brand, so you know.
Please, not a bad analogy.
No. She's got one. Let her rock. Let her rock.
Wow.
Let her rock.
The shade. Here's
No
the
shade.
thing, and this is the lesson. This is the lesson I've learned. And Bonner, you've experienced this lesson with me. It's also, I'm trying to say this carefully. So, for instance, if you get whatever and you're representing WWT, I already know what I'm expecting, right? If there is somebody that is not a Bonner, that is a part of WWT, and I know that I'm not quite sure how they're going to act, right? It's on me not to send them, or it's on me not to make them the face of the company. So what I'm trying to say is I agree with you wholeheartedly that you should know better. You should read the room. However, common sense is not common. And I kind of almost feel like the more she cuts up and says certain things on the Breakfast Club and all that stuff, you're getting those viral moments. And maybe that's more what she wants than anything else. If you guys are watching Netflix, I'm starting to watch the Jerry Springer docuseries, and the really interesting thing of how it came about and who Jerry Springer was prior to when he started the show versus when he overtook Oprah. It's like there's things that I didn't even know of because it's such an old show. So I think I think she should have known better, but I also feel like this is not new and AEW might not be surprised. And also it may be getting more eyeballs on the company. It may be getting more eyeballs on her, because I feel like the stuff that I have read, they're not really mentioning AEW. Like, it's not the forefront. It's more her name, which is what I also think that she's, trying to do.
So are you saying she's going into business for herself?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the lesson, ironically, and I won't tell you how I learned the lesson. You're going to have to watch ACW for that. That's a lesson that I had to learn myself. So it's just kind of like, and I didn't do it intentionally, but I think with Mercedes, definitely. At the end of the day, I don't think she plans on wrestling for a long time. She wants to, stack the chips, do all the things, and, leave the business and do whatever else she wants to do. And that if that means sacrificing the company that's kind of, given her more money than I don't want to say she could ever dream of, because she was already in a position, a company that's actually giving her exactly what she wants, then like I feel like, that's kind of been her MO for a very long time. So I'm not at all surprised. The shock value gets her more clicks. Her name's gonna be, whether good or bad, her name is getting different places. I'm seeing her more on mainstream media. So do I agree with it? No. But I also feel like she's not just sitting in the back of AEW just silent, not saying anything.
But also keep in mind too, the product. Wasn't this the same place at a main event where a dude stuck a syringe in his mouth and got busted open with a brick?
Yeah.
And it's this like, so it's like, what are we looking at when it comes to the product that she does represent? Because that's not for children, is it? Well, they're on there all the time. They're doing all of this wild stuff, blood being cut, everything, right?
Well, with that said, the mayor is joining us from parts unknown. And so, Mayor, I know you've got a few things you'd like to say, so feel free to add to the conversation, sir.
So I can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfectly fine.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't expect to jump on this. I'm getting ready for the Raw after show. TK, this costs extra, just to let you know.
This dude.
A lot of my mind listening on it. This is where we said in the bar. This whole
And of
AEW
course,
douche. I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. Wait, you guys can't hear me?
Oh, we heard.
Breaking up.
I heard one word or a few, like 2 words. I heard.
We just heard that's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. That's all I heard.
Am I clear now? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right, so no skips, nothing like that. I'm just saying I feel like this topic is soft compared to what we've seen AEW present. I feel like we're really towing the line where we're picking and choosing what's women's empowerment and then what's degrading. And to the point where we can't even say the word hoe in the sentence that she used it in. It's like she didn't say anything bad. And I like that Councilman pointed out that these were Snoop's words, not hers. I think that's going to be the click views and things like that get misinterpreted, where she's saying like, hey, be your own boss, which is it's really the genesis of this character, the CEO. At the end of the day, isn't she doing what she's paid to do, which is being the topic of the conversation? Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I see 36 minutes here on the top of the left corner of the screen. We're spending a lot of time on this topic. I feel like mission accomplished, that we're just talking about Mercedes, good or bad. And as an entertainer, I think that's what you want, is to garner a reaction.
I think I will maintain that I think it is very dangerous to go into business for yourself. That's the first thing I will maintain, particularly when you are representing another company. And again, we can play the role of, sure, I'm the CEO of my own, but how are you the CEO in somebody else's company? It's not yours. So when it's yours, you can, like, for instance, TK can come on here and say whatever she wants because it's hers. I can't come on here and just randomly start saying crazy stuff because I run the risk of damaging her brand. And I think the issue here is, if she is such a CEO, then run your own wrestling company.
Well, wait. What are we offended by though? Is it the whole thing, or is it the CEO thing?
No. The issue for me it's multiple things. Now. The issue for me is the horrible representation for women, making that terrible comparison between whether you call yourself that or you call yourself the pimp, which is no better, because that particular role, that's not the same as an empathetic manager or an empathetic kind regional director. This is somebody who's going to get what they want to get at any cost. They don't care about your well-being. So using that analogy as a woman, again, if you're doing this on a late night podcast, we're probably not having this conversation. It's still bad, but you're doing it in an environment that's a bit more salacious. So, okay. But you're doing this. You shocked the host. You shocked the host. And let's consider this too. For wrestlers to get that kind of space on mainstream television, a mainstream daytime talk show, that is rare. So to take that and to use it in that way, not a good look. Not a good look. And I saw there's somebody in here. I don't really know who they are, but they're talking about let me pull the comment up. No, I gotta do it. People love to hate on CEO, a black woman. In case you didn't notice,
we're all minorities here.
2 of the 5 people talking to you are black or are women of color, right? All of us are people of color. And let me add to this now. We've got a 3rd woman of color on here. Okay?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
So half the panel are women of color. This is women's wrestling talk. We support women's wrestling of all colors and hues and shapes and sizes and all the things. This is not about downing a woman of color. This is about actually holding a woman of color accountable for being one to represent well in a space that's hosted by another black woman. I don't know how.
And I have to say, and I have to also say, I also have to also say this, you know, where we are in society, we are more than you. We're on TV shows, we're on podcasts, all this stuff. If you put yourself out there, you're also up for criticism. Am I saying that you should take away Mercedes' belt and do all the things and she should get punished and she should lose her job? Absolutely not. Am I saying, and everybody has their different code of ethics. AEW might not care at all. It was just kind of one of those things that we're not necessarily we're in the era where we can say everything, but in the wrestling space, I feel like we're not as big as everybody else. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm saying that you still have to represent for a culture and represent for a people. So I'm not criticizing her. I'm just saying, hey, this was questionable what you did. AEW might be giving her a whole cake due to numbers, due to all the things. That at the end of the day, she could go on her vacations. Her bank account's way bigger than mine's. All the things. We're just kind of like, let's talk about this. So we can have a free conversation. That's quite all right. When was it not okay for a Black woman or an organization that's called Women's Wrestling Talk to speak on these? Can we not talk about it because she's Black, because she's a woman? And it's like with certain cases, like, okay, we're not allowed to talk about it because of that. But then when everybody else is talking about it, then we're supposed to talk about it.
It says here up top, it says news and reviews. Just saying. It says news and reviews.
So, and you're also here entitled to your opinion. So, and we're responding to it. With that being said, I don't know. You know what, Bonner, you gone, because I might have to dip back out because I have to work.
I am more than happy to move from this topic because she's gotten
too long
again a lot of time. But I do think it's an important conversation to have because there are younger wrestlers paying attention. There are people aspiring to be in certain places, and if this is considered acceptable behavior by some, so be it. All right, now moving from one champion to another champion, that champion being Athena, who, congratulations to her.
A real champion.
She has recently defended her Ring of Honor Women's World Championship in Stardom, and she did that successfully. So that is exciting. And quite frankly, I'm very excited for Athena, who worked very, very hard to be able to get to Japan and perform. Performing in Japan is a huge deal. And for her to be able to do that and retain her championship is exciting. Literally being a world champion is Athena. And speaking of Japan, I want to offer congratulations to Omos, who is over working in Pro Wrestling Noah, doing great work over in Japan right now. And it's great because, we had talked about wondering where he is and what he was doing and hoping he could get an opportunity. Well, he's getting a really, really good opportunity over there in Japan. So congratulations to Omos. We're very, very happy to see that. Now, of course, Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry.
I do have a question. Relating to Athena. I know I think we talked about an hour for Mercedes. So if we can make this, she has held her championship for a crazy amount of days. One, definitely don't want to take her championship away. She's definitely carrying ROH. But what do you think, or what are your hopes next for her? Because it feels like, if not to some, it's gotten stagnant. It's eventually going to. And what I'm dreading is that they do take the championship away from her, or she loses the championship, and then there's nothing for her to do. And so what do you think is the best transition for her? This is probably going to be a long answer. I didn't mean it to be, but that I'm genuinely curious, because you're seeing her rack up all these days. So then what next?
Honestly, I think she's doing what needs to be done next, which is travel the world. If you've beaten everybody in the states that they will put against you, now you really prove that you are a world champion. You head over to Japan, who has been killing it in the space of women's wrestling. You know, she was involved in Wrestle Dynasty just last week. And then you go over to Stardom, which, again, widely respected women's promotion, and you score a victory over there and you start racking them up over there. That's fantastic. It kind of is reminiscent of when world champions traveled around the world defending their titles. It's one of the reasons we revere Ric Flair the way that we do, is because he didn't just defend the championship in the States. He defended it all across the world. So I think this is a great move for Athena that keeps her away. If they're trying to keep her away from AEW talent specifically, this actually raises her stake and her stocks by fighting some of the best women around the world. And now you can bring that back. That footage comes back. You revere her that much more.
I like it.
Yeah. So shout out. Anybody else have any thoughts on Athena, by the way?
She's dope.
Yeah, there it is. Quick. Let's move on to the next one.
I was gonna say, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Keep doing what she's doing. That's all she can do.
So Monday Night Raw is happening tonight. And of course, this is kind of the follow-up to the massive Raw on Netflix debut that happened last week. Just a crazy amount of people watched. So tonight, scheduled, you've got the next steps for Rhea Ripley. She will be there. CM Punk will be live. There will be a street fight tonight between Damian Priest and Finn Balor. That should be quite interesting. Let's see. Chad Gable. We'll talk about Chad Gable in a second. We'll hold off on Chad. Sheamus will be taking on Ludwig Kaiser. And then we will have the finals of the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Dakota Kai, Lyra Valkyria. Let's get predictions. Who will be the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion? Courtney, let's start with you.
No questions asked. Lyra Valkyria is my pick.
Okay. No questions asked. I wanted to ask a question, but I won't. No questions asked.
She said period. She said what she said.
Listen, she said what she said. So all good. All good. TK, what you think?
This is gonna sound. I was gonna say I almost agree with Courtney, but I do agree with Courtney. I feel like she left NXT. She had a little bit of a high and then a kind of a slump. And I think this might be a good thing, especially with Netflix and it being worldwide. The reason I say that is that WWE, and I think we said that last week, that WWE is definitely at the moment courting mainstream media and not wrestling fans, because they want to get the mainstream media to become wrestling fans, but I also feel like they want to court the whole world. So this might be a good play. So I agree with Courtney as far as that.
Okay. I want to read to everyone what Dakota Kai tweeted today on X. She said the following: I've been about WWE for 7.5 years. This has been my dream for as long as I can remember. Way back when I was practicing DDTs on my little brother in the lounge. Don't try this at home. With each opportunity to win a singles championship over the years, I've given my all every time, even if I fell short. I don't want to say failure isn't an option, because failure has been a part of my story and I've learned from it. I hope to make you all proud. So in light of that, honey, who are you predicting tonight?
I've said it before, and I think I'm going to say it again. I think Dakota Kai is going to be our rightful inaugural first-time women's intercontinental champion. I think she deserves it. I would like to see, some kind of fire lit back up in Damage Control. I feel like they've also kind of been in a little slump. I think there's definitely more time for Lyra Valkyria to be a contender for this title. I'm not taking anything away from her. She is definitely has the right to be here because she's fought every single person and beaten every single person to get to this point. So I won't put that past her, but I think I might have to go Dakota for the win.
Okay. Councilman.
Dakota Kai.
Okay.
She's the only one in damage control and they had a title yet. So it don't make sense.
True.
Every title she's gone up numerous times for a title, has not won. Lyra's only lost one tournament. She will be absolutely fine. And it gives her something more to chase. This is definitely Dakota Kai's time. I thought maybe because of the knee, they might be a little hesitant about giving it to her. But she fine. It's time, man. It's time for them to let her see her shine. She got her own podcast. She's out doing things. Like, I think she is the perfect person to represent as the inaugural women's intercontinental champion. And I just think it'll start a feud with Io Sky. And I would love to see them two go at it.
Wow.
That sounds hot.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I agree with Dylan from the future. Lyra might get Money in the Bank.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So it seems somewhat split here in the chat as well. There are those who are hoping for Dakota. A lot of Dakota actually in here. Let's see. I thought I saw some for Lyra. I want Lyra for fantasy wrestling purposes, but would heavily applaud Dakota if she wins. Lyra is 0-2 in tournament finals. So yeah, this is going to be fun to see what happens tonight. Again, the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion will be crowned tonight live on Netflix. And then, of course, last week, one Chad Gable issued a challenge and saying, hey, I want the best luchador you have. So then, of course, a phone call was made, and mysteriously this morning, they didn't hide it, Penta has new gear on WWE Shop. And when I say they don't hide it, WWE reposted, which I have no problem. So we can obviously put things together. We can make a strong assumption that Penta will make his debut tonight on Raw live on Netflix. What are your expectations of Penta in the WWE? We'll start with you, Courtney, since I know you are familiar with him from his time being an elitist.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you did there. But I think this is his first match and his debut. Of course, there's going to be a lot of high expectations going in, especially with a credible athlete like Chad Gable. So there's going to be a lot of neck and neck going forward. But I think he's going to really much have a solid debut. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if his first feud was with Chad Gable and possibly some members of American Made, because I wouldn't be surprised if Chad had somebody within American Made try to take out Penta. But I'm really looking forward to his debut tonight and also curious on where's it going to go from there. So he's going to really show up, especially since this is the second Raw on Netflix, and also facing off with Chad Gable.
Wait, that's who y'all think Chad Gable facing?
No, I heard it was LaPorca.
Well, wait. So let me pose this question, because I think this is what's interesting. Just because Penta has gear on WWE Shop and Chad asked for a luchador, does it mean that his opponent will actually be Penta? What do you think, Councilman?
Well, first off, you just said the greatest luchador. The greatest luchador is Dragon Lee. So,
no, you didn't. No,
is that not what they've been grooming him for?
No, you didn't. No.
You know what? You're right.
They were also grooming Solo to be the tribal chief. So
let me correct myself. The greatest luchador is Dominic Mysterio.
I knew you were going there.
I knew he was going to go there.
But, all right, see that I'm not mad at. Though.
That's the greatest luchador out right now. And that would be a great match between him and Chad Gable. That's all. That's all I'm throwing out there.
That would be pretty good.
If it's Penta, I'm just excited to see him. Like, I don't really care how he debuts, what he does. It's just like, I just want to see him in the ring. But if I had to say I want to see something, I don't want to see none of that. I just want to see him randomly drop kick Io Sky in the back, and they just it ain't even the focus of where they at in the back, just out of nowhere. They just start going at it.
Councilman, this is women's wrestling talk, sir.
Long-term storytelling.
See, that's what you're doing. See, what you're doing is profiling. I'm referring to their days in the Lucha Underground.
Let me
See,
tell
No,
you.
I know what
you're
you're
being
talking
problematic
about.
right now, honey. I was not going there. Okay.
Oh my God! Cue the clip. Cue the clip. Is there dissension?
Where's the barbershop
on the
window?
tag
I can
team?
feel it. I can feel it.
Lord.
I can feel it. Where's the barbershop window? I feel it.
But we gotta reverse the face now because she just sweet shit music me.
Hey, sit the fuck down, Funaki.
Never fails. Never fails. Well, I am looking forward to seeing Penta tonight. I think it's kind of a dream to see him finally in WWE. One of those guys who you always wondered how it would happen and you've never seen it. So tonight should be great. Again, I don't know specifically how he's going to debut. Maybe it's against Chad Gable. Maybe he shows up some other way. I think it'd be a great swerve for it not to be against Chad Gable. I think maybe he comes and does a run-in, and that would be, people would go crazy at that point, which I think will be awesome. I'm interested also in what his entrance is going to be like.
Ooh, run in and a hostile, maybe a run in and a hostile takeover of the LWO. Ooh. They do need a reason.
Yeah, on the Chad Gable side, I could really see him taking on Dragon Lee and trying to take off the mask, and then that's when his music hits.
Okay.
Like that.
We're going to see this tonight. It should be a lot of fun. Again, Raw live on Netflix around the world, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, and however that equates to your specific time zone. All right, some TNA news as this week marks at the end of the week TNA's next big pay-per-view. It's TNA Genesis, which will be taking place on the 19th. And this is going to take place in Garland, Texas at the Curtis Colwell Center, which oddly enough was the same space that AEW spent a good portion of the summer. So I'm excited to see how they are going to do with that. But all the talk is saying that the ticket sales for this TNA event have already surpassed last year's Hard to Kill pay-per-view event. And of course, the Hard to Kill pay-per-view event was in Vegas, where we got the debut of Nick Nemeth. Speaking of Nick Nemeth, he's the world champion and will defend against Joe Hendry on the 19th. My question to you is this. This is definitely at least the third, if not fourth world title shot for Joe Hendry. Does Joe Hendry finally get it done at Genesis? And if he doesn't, what's next for Joe Hendry? I heard you, TK, so let's let you have at it.
If he were to get it, would he lose his luster? That's kind of like almost I can't remember if it's Will or said, or even you, Professor, where the thrill is in the chase. That's kind of what that's why I'm kind of not worried about, because I think he'll be fine, given his popularity. I know he'll be fine. So I want him because that's just what's fair, but I don't know. Although it might take to another, although if he does win, it'll take it to a whole nother level if he's creative, and if him and TNA are creative enough to reinvent him. So on the fair side, I'd say yes. I'll leave it at that.
On the fair side, okay. What do you think, honey? Does Joe Hendry have to win the world title this weekend?
No. Joe Hendry does not have to win the world title this weekend. Joe Hendry, clearly, judging by last year, is bigger than any title in some cases. He's been a phenomenon, I think. And I think he could just continue to be that. I still think that Nick Nemeth is a very strong champion. I think he's still holding it down very well. I'm not putting anything again, not knocking anything about Joe Hendry, because he's made a believer out of me for sure. But I will say, what's next will be number 30 at the Rumble. I'm gonna keep saying it, and I'm gonna keep saying it until he appears.
Okay. Number 30 is a strong number. Let me ask you this, Councilman. Win or lose, does Joe Hendry show up at the Rumble?
Absolutely. and there is no lose. It's time. Nick Nemeth is great, but Joe Hendry, TNA champion, and he turned around with that belt at the Royal Rumble.
Ooh,
come on now, this gotta happen.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, this has to happen. That's a visual, and I even was talking about that with a friend earlier. Like, we need to kind of start revamping the TNA splice up with this, because we got a lot of opportunities there. We've been talking about Royal Rumble with Joe Hendry, and then I thought about something else, and just let me know how this rings to y'all. Stand and Deliver, Omos versus Moose for the NXT Championship.
This year?
This year.
You mean Oba? Did you say Omos or Oba?
He did say Omos. Yeah, because I was like, Omos.
I was like, wait a minute.
Too many Omas. We said about Omos earlier. My bad. Oba Finley versus Moose.
Okay.
Man, we're just now, like Professor.
Yeah,
Councilman,
we're wrong with it.
Councilman, for sure, 2025, we're getting our big back match. The ladies had theirs last year. We have to get Moose and Oba.
It's gonna be a stand and deliver. Because think about it, who else he gonna face that's on NXT that's gonna sell tickets? Ain't no dude out there right now.
And Oba's beating every single one of them.
Exactly. Ain't no one on that roster right now is main event stand and deliver worthy right now. No offense to them. They still got just a lot of building to do. Just a thought.
Not even the Don.
But just to answer your initial question, like I said, when I said if The Rock don't show up to NXT, if Joe Hendry does not show up in the Royal Rumble, I'm not going to go 30 because I'm with you, Professor. 30 is very strong. That's a strong placement. A solid Councilman's 15. I will take that.
You love meeting in the middle.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Love meeting in the middle.
Yeah, right there. Say it's not, because again, like, because I wanted to line up with John Cena being in the ring. And I don't think John is going to come at the Final Four. I think John is going to want to have those interactive moments, and just the pop it's going to get with him and Joe Hendry in the ring together, just standing there looking at each other. That's something you cannot miss out on.
There's your WrestleMania match right there.
Man, listen, honey, don't you tempt me. Don't you tempt me.
I'll cry tears of joy. I actually will. I think I will.
That is hilarious. So, all right, I want to skip to something real quick because we only have some limited time.
What you said, what you?
No, Cindy, don't say that. Take that comment back. No, don't put it up. It's bad luck. Don't put it up. It's bad luck.
It's interesting because I know Rumble is still a few weeks away, and I know at some point we will get into a Rumble conversation. Considering that over the weekend, the tribal chief declared that he will be in the Royal Rumble. And so Roman Reigns and John Cena in the Royal Rumble. I'm not sure if Logan Paul exactly stands a chance, but we'll see. We'll see. Time will certainly tell.
One last Joe Hendry thing. Patchy says Joe Hendry at number 1, so that way you let the song play out.
But it's a long walk, though, too. You know,
it's a very long ass
walk. That's a long ass walk.
WWE is known for some long walks, though. They
so
for it.
I do want to just share this news. So there was a lot of concern over the weekend about Melina, as there had been a number of attempts to reach out to her during all that's happening with the wildfires in California. And they said they had not heard anything from her. They have finally made contact with Melina. Melina is, from what we hear, safe. She is alive. She is okay. And so I think that is important. And again, all of our thoughts and prayers are involved and connected to all the great people who are on the West Coast who are being impacted by what's happening with these storms. So that is that. I think that's probably a good place to wrap things up for today. The other stories we'll talk about at some other particular point. Some cool things are happening in the space of women's wrestling talk. I want to leave some space for our boss lady to share her ideas. By the way, before she does that, I want to remind you guys, we've got a brand new website for you to check out.
I'm doing it on air. I thought we were going to just do it behind people.
I'm sorry. So then we won't. I misread your message. I'm sorry. But what
everything
I
has to be shared in front of people, Professor. I'm just messing with you. This light is
Ooh.
really not lighting me.
This boss
Anyway,
lady's
go
about
on.
less announcements. I'm here for okay. Well,
No, we know what that was a shot at. That's why.
Yes, we do. Wow.
He made that face.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch out there now. So what I wanted to remind everybody was that we have a new website, www.talkpod.com. The new website is up. It looks amazing. Make sure you go and check it out. As a matter of fact, I think you might even be able to watch us on the website at this point. So definitely check it out. www.talkpod.com. All of the new merch is there. All of the stories are there. Interviews are there. Everything you want connected to women's wrestling talk is right here on our website, www.talkpod.com. So make sure you check it out. All right, Courtney, how can the people find you?
They can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on WWT Live. You know, every Wednesday I do AEW Dynamite for our watch along, and there's going to be a lot of tea spilled this week, especially since Maximum Carnage is in Ohio this week. So there's going to be a lot happening. Please make sure to follow Bell to Bell. First show of 2025 is this Saturday, Bell of the Brawl. I will be doing commentary on a few of their matches, which I'm very excited to do. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram and Twitter on @CourtneyNJ11. I have been sharing a lot of resources within LA, especially in the hospitality field, for a lot of food, resources, whatever, any way I can from the East Coast. So feel free to check me out, and a lot of content happening in the coming weeks.
Nice.
Okay, content. Hey, is there any way, Courtney, for people to watch the show that you're going to be a part of on Saturday?
I have to see, but usually they always post it up after the show is over, but I'll check with Melissa to see what we can do.
Okay. Let us know. We'd love to support. We'd love to support. Councilman, how can the people find you?
You can find me at Everything Big Back on all socials, at Instagram, YouTube. You can find me on TikTok for the next 6 days before they close up shop. Yeah, but it's everything you want from Big Back. Foods, reviews, everything. Just come on over and just expand your back. That's the caption.
Come on over and okay, I'm not doing that.
Dylan,
that sounds like a shirt.
Dylan, that sounds like a clip.
Yes, expand your back. Stop playing.
Oh boy, honey, how can the people find you?
You guys can find me here Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays with the WWT Live crew. As always, every Friday, Monday Night SmackDown. Bees are going to be buzzing by the end of this week, because Friday will be our Honey Night SmackDown watch along. Also, check me out on Saturdays with the Kayfabe podcast with Councilman and Deonne from All Star Fandom. It's going really good. We had our first episode up on YouTube. It's out now. You can watch it. We talked about, shooting the ish, and we did a little blind rankings. We did a lot of debates and stuff. So make sure you guys check that out. New podcast, Kayfabe podcast. I'm glad to be a part of it. And
speaking of clearances,
everything all Wrestling with Honey on all the socials.
Sheesh. Well, me and my little innocent self, you can just find me at Bonnerfied. All right.
Wow.
I don't have
child of God right there. It's a child of God.
Look, listen. Now, what I can tell you is you can check me out as part of Ashe Wrestling TV. Episode 1 is available right now on the Ashe Wrestling YouTube page. Ashe Wrestling episode 2 will be up this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube page. There's a whole live chat situation happening there. You want to check it out. The main event, Darius Carter taking on Jonathan Gresham. That's happening this Thursday night, Ashe Wrestling TV, 8 p.m. Eastern. You are not going to want to miss it. And spoiler alert, there will be a special in-ring interview involving yours truly and Darius Lockhart as we talk about his future in the business. So make sure you check out Ashe Wrestling episode 2 this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Ashe Wrestling YouTube channel. You can also check out my work with, of course, All Caribbean Wrestling. Big news coming there. March the 1st, of course, the debut of Saturday Night Vibe on Tempo Networks. Very excited about that. And all sorts of other great things coming. 2025 feels like it's going to be a fantastic year. So I hope you guys will tune in to all of the things. And of course, we leave the floor to the boss lady and her silk press.
Wait, did Will you went and Courtney went?
Yeah.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where were you?
I can say it again.
Everything big back, the fell of the brawl.
She was some. Courtney went first. Big. Lord.
You're right. Sorry, I got like literally like 40 windows open. So yeah, my bad.
Didn't we tell you about that? Yeah, focus.
Like you ain't even know where a computer is. What do you mean? Do you just take the 5 screens with you?
No, I have 3 screens at home, but I have like 40 windows open right now on sub screens.
How's that working for you?
I mean, I got a lot of stuff done. So with that being said,
Mama's working.
Yes, she is. Boss lady's working.
Bills get paid.
Don't
But I
y'all
want to
encourage
thank you
that.
guys.
Your hair is slaying.
Don't encourage that. Close the tab. Don't encourage that. Y'all are encouraging the wrong things. 40 tabs is ridiculous. Okay? Ridiculous. I don't even know what you could be doing that got 40 tabs open.
I can show you.
No thanks.
No.
I can literally show you. It's actually shout out to Chrome, and I do hope they give us like a deal or something like that. Because what I've done on Chrome is I've divided my emails because I have different emails for different businesses for different projects, and in those emails I have a WWE page, and it has also when I open it, it opens all my WWT stuff. Excuse me. And then opens all, I have another one for TK Trinidad, all that stuff. So it actually really to streamline the work environment. So shout out to Chrome. I'm just going to be shouting out random companies because one of them is going to stick. Anywho, you guys can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. I don't know who's going to get the outro up, but if one of you guys can get the outro up.
It's
you
up.
guys can follow me
already.
Oh, perfect. You can follow me on TK Trinidad. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you check the website out. We got a lot of stories happening. We got a lot of shows happening. We have a show debuting, another show debuting next week that I think you guys will be really appreciative, and I think it will be super fun. Other than that, you can follow all of us and Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at www.talkpod.com. With that being said, thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
Wow.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.